Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing your car no longer needs gas, no longer needs charging, and no longer needs you to worry about range, battery health, or fuel prices. Because hidden across the United States, from small garages to private workshops, 10 ordinary American cars have now been converted into something extraordinary: self-powered vehicles. Machines that generate their own energy. Machines that never need to visit a gas station or a charging port ever again. And the crazy part? These conversions are real. They're working. And the people behind them are quietly documenting everything. Tonight, we're diving into the story that major automakers don't want going mainstream, a grassroots revolution powered by experimental RF modules, closed-loop generators, and off-grid power designs spreading faster than regulators can understand. So buckle up, because what you're about to see might just rewrite the future of transportation in America. Our journey begins in a quiet suburb in Arizona, where a retired mechanical engineer, known only as Daniel, modified his 2012 Toyota Camry using a compact RF generator module originally intended for off-grid homes. He documents everything: voltage curves, temperature stability, long-distance tests, and according to his notes, the car has now run 3 months without visiting a gas station or plugging into the grid. But Daniel isn't alone. Across the country, in Florida, a small team of automotive hobbyists successfully converted a 2010 Ford Fusion. Their method? A hybrid energy recycling system that feeds electrical output back into the drivetrain, stabilizing energy flow in a closed circuit. No fuel. No charging cable. Just a continuous loop, as long as the system remains active. Then there's the case in Texas. A Chevy Malibu fitted with experimental wireless charge collectors mounted beneath the chassis. As the car moves, it absorbs ambient electromagnetic energy, not from the grid, but from naturally occurring fields and man-made signals saturating modern environments. It's controversial, it's experimental, and yet, the test logs show over 900 miles driven with zero external charging. Meanwhile, in Ohio, an anonymous owner of a Honda Accord claims his car now uses a triple-coil induction assembly that generates surplus power during acceleration. And yes, he posted the oscilloscope readings online. But the most surprising part isn't the cars themselves. It's the pattern. None of these conversions came from giant automakers. None came from billion-dollar corporations. They came from ordinary Americans, working quietly, sharing findings in tight private groups, testing methods that mainstream science refuses to acknowledge. And with every successful conversion, more people join. DIY electrical engineers, mechanics with 20 years of experience, college students studying alternative energy, even former EV technicians frustrated by battery degradation rates. A silent movement is growing, and the auto industry is starting to notice. Whispers of legal pressure, rumors of new regulations, online groups mysteriously disappearing, videos getting quietly demonetized or removed. Because if these 10 conversions continue to operate successfully, the question becomes unavoidable. What happens when Americans realize they don't need fuel, and they don't need charging stations, to drive forever? And this is where the story gets even more unbelievable. The deeper we look, the clearer it becomes that these 10 conversions were never random. Behind the scenes, a network has been forming, small at first, scattered across states, but now tied together through encrypted forums and private engineering circles. One forum in particular, known only as Loop Lab 47, seems to be the central hub. Its members share detailed schematics, energy measurements, field test results, and warnings. Warnings about visits from inspectors, strange phone calls, and unexplained server shutdowns. Inside Loop Lab 47, the 10th car conversion stands out more than all the others. This wasn't an old sedan. This wasn't a budget experiment. This was a 2021 Tesla Model 3, converted by a former aerospace technician in Colorado. He claims he bypassed the entire charging system and installed a multi-stage resonance module that powers the battery pack without using a wall charger. He even documented the entire process, step by step, using anonymized timestamps and encrypted metadata. When he finally ran the car, something unbelievable happened. The mileage counter kept rising. The battery percentage stayed the same. The system showed zero energy consumption. Within days of posting his results, his entire account disappeared from the forum. His last message? Just 3 words. They found me. And that's when the rest of the community realized this technology is no longer just a hobbyist experiment. It's a threat to billion-dollar industries. In California, several conversion groups reported sudden audits. In Michigan, a garage working on a Dodge Charger conversion had its equipment seized over safety concerns. And a well-known EV blogger who covered these projects found half his videos taken down within a week. But the movement continues anyway.
Why?
Because these cars work, and every successful test strengthens the belief that a new kind of transportation is emerging, one that doesn't depend on oil companies or charging networks. Meanwhile, whispers are spreading about a mysterious figure known online only as the architect. Some say he's the original engineer behind the resonance modules. Others believe he used to work for a major energy corporation before disappearing completely. What we know for sure is this: he has resurfaced, and he's contacted several members of the community with something far more powerful than schematics, something that could link all 10 conversions together. A unified blueprint. A system designed not just for small cars, but for trucks, buses, and even long-haul vehicles. The forum moderators are debating whether to release it or keep it hidden. Because if this blueprint goes public, millions of people could attempt self-powered conversions overnight, and the consequences, political, industrial, and economic, would shake the entire country. But then, something happens that no one in the community expected. Late one night, a new video is uploaded anonymously. No voice, no narration, just raw footage. A black SUV driving across a desert highway. No fuel tank, no charging port, no connection to anything. Just a glowing internal module pulsing beneath the chassis as the vehicle cruises at 70 miles per hour. The caption reads, "Prototype 0. Phase 2 begins now." And suddenly, everything changes. The release of the Prototype 0 video sends shockwaves through the underground community. Within hours, the clip spreads across encrypted channels, mirrored thousands of times before moderators can even verify its source. But verification becomes unnecessary because the footage is too advanced, too detailed, too technically accurate to be a hoax. The SUV in the video isn't just driving, it's gliding. No engine noise, no vibrations, just a smooth hum that resonates like a perfectly tuned frequency generator. Members immediately begin analyzing every frame. Infrared reflections, shadow movements, energy pulses from the chassis. And that's when they spot it. A faint symbol etched onto the module inside the car. A geometric pattern. A triangle within a circle. And beneath it, 3 letters. A R-C. The architect's signature. For the first time, the community realizes that Prototype 0 wasn't a rumor. It was real. And it was already being tested in the open. But before anyone can celebrate, a new message appears on the forum homepage. Not from a user, but from the platform itself. This domain has been seized by federal authorities. Chat rooms disconnect. Accounts vanish. Live feeds drop mid-sentence. Panic spreads. Creators rush to secure backups. Engineers seal their garages. Some flee, fearing their work will be confiscated. But not everyone backs down. A splinter group forms, a collective of about 30 engineers from across the U.S. They call themselves Continuum. They believe the architect is sending a message. The old systems can't contain this technology anymore. Continuum begins rebuilding the forum on a decentralized, impossible-to-shut-down network. Encrypted channels, hidden servers, peer-to-peer backups. And within hours, the architect returns. He uploads a single file. Small.
Compressed.
Labeled only as ArcDrive version 1.0 for public release. Continuum opens it cautiously. Inside the file is something no one expected. Not a blueprint, not a schematic, but a full 3D model, step-by-step instructions for constructing an energy loop module compatible with any gasoline or electric vehicle. No corporate infrastructure needed. No rare materials. Just parts sourced from ordinary electronic suppliers. It is simple. It is elegant. It is dangerous. Continuum debates releasing it. Some argue it will free millions from fuel dependency. Others fear chaos, accidents, misused devices, economic collapse. The discussion heats up until a single user posts something that silences the entire group. A leaked photo. Taken inside a large warehouse. Rows of freshly built black SUVs identical to Prototype 0, each with the same ARC symbol, each fitted with the ARC drive module, each ready for deployment. And the caption below the image reads, "They're building them. Without us. Without the public." Continuum realizes the truth. If corporations or shadow groups mass-produce this technology in secret, the entire movement loses its purpose, and the world will never know the real story. They take a vote. Release the ARC drive, or keep it contained. As the votes tally, the group fractures. Some argue it must be free to everyone. Others fear what governments might do if chaos erupts. Some believe the architect is manipulating them all. But just as the final vote appears on screen, the architect himself enters the chat, and he sends a message that changes everything. You are not the only ones watching. Within seconds, the chat goes silent. Every camera indicator on the members' laptops flickers red. Every microphone activates. A presence floods the network, silent, invisible, but unmistakably powerful. Then a second message appears. You have 48 hours. Choose wisely. And then he vanishes. The countdown begins. 48 hours to decide the future of transportation. 48 hours to choose whether the ARC drive becomes public, controlled, or buried forever. Inside Continuum's encrypted hub, tension thickens. Live feeds flicker. Members speak in hushed tones, some in basements, others in garages, a few from mobile vans with signal jammers running outside. A new message appears on the screen. A system alert. Multiple unauthorized logins detected. The group scrambles. Firewalls activate. Data vaults seal. But whoever is trying to enter isn't using brute force. They're slipping in quietly, touching nothing, just watching. It becomes clear. This isn't a hacker. This is surveillance. Suddenly, a Continuum member from Seattle, username Hexline, unmutes his mic. We're not alone on this network, he whispers. They're already tracking ARC drive downloads. If we release it, the first person who builds the module could trigger a federal alert. Someone else replies. That assumes the federal agencies are the ones watching. What if they're not? Silence. Because deep down, they all suspect the same thing. The SUV fleet in the leaked warehouse photo wasn't government. It wasn't corporate. It was something in between. A private organization with government-level access and corporate-level manufacturing power. Something with influence. Something with reach. As the group debates, a shocking revelation comes from a Continuum engineer in Arizona. He uploads a document, a scanned contract stamped with the ARC symbol. It's a procurement order. Massive. Signed by a defense contractor connected to aerospace research. The contract details shipments of off-grid energy modules, chassis parts, custom shielding, and signal dampeners. The project name at the top reads, Project Helios, Phase 2. Continuum freezes. Helios. The same codename whispered on private channels for months. Rumored to be a classified initiative aiming to develop vehicles capable of indefinite operation behind conflict lines. Self-powered. Silent. Off-grid. Perfect for surveillance. Perfect for intelligence operations. Perfect for control. Now the community understands the real stakes. If ARC drive stays hidden, Project Helios will monopolize the technology, turning a world-changing breakthrough into a weaponized asset. If ARC drive becomes public, millions could benefit. But millions could also misuse it. The group fractures even more. One faction, the Open Cell, argues the tech must be released instantly, without filters. Another faction, the Safeguard, insists on carefully controlled distribution. A third faction, the silent node, wants to destroy the blueprint altogether to avoid global chaos. As the infighting grows louder, something unexpected happens. A new user appears. No profile picture. No metadata. Just a blank icon labeled 0. Everyone freezes. The architect? A government plant? A rogue AI? Nobody knows. 0 types a single line. You debated too long. And then he uploads a file. A massive, multi-gigabyte package that auto-decrypts before anyone can stop it. Screens light up. Hard drives were. The Continuum members shouted at each other to disconnect. Too late. The file opens. It's not ArcDrive. It's something else. Blueprints. Schematics. Streaming video logs. Warehouse camera feeds. Internal memos. An entire archive. Project Helios has not only built Prototype 0. They have built 12 models so far. And they're about to deploy them. The final video in the archive plays automatically. A convoy of black SUVs driving toward a massive hangar. Engines silent. Lights off. Moving with mechanical precision. As the camera pans upward, a huge banner hangs above the hangar entrance. Not a corporate logo. Not a government emblem. Just the ARC symbol. And beneath it, deployment, 72 hours. Continuum realizes with horror. They have 48 hours to decide. But Helios deploys in 72. Their decision will collide with history. The revelation of the 72-hour deployment hits Continuum like a shockwave. A silent panic spreads across the encrypted grid as the reality sets in. They're no longer observers. They're no longer hobbyists. They are no longer just engineers. They are now the only barrier between a global power shift and complete technological control. The chat explodes. We need to release ArcDrive now. This will start chaos. They're going live whether we act or not. Who is 0? Why did he leak this? The factions collide in real time. The open cell demands immediate global upload. The safeguard insists on a limited release to trusted engineers only. The silent node wants a total shutdown, wipe everything and disappear. But 0 remains silent. Until one Continuum member, a quiet, meticulous coder from Chicago known as Juniper, posts something none of them expect. She shares a screenshot from the Helios archive. It's security footage of a man walking through the warehouse. He's wearing an ID badge. His face is pixelated due to security blur, but his silhouette is unmistakable.
Tall, thin,
slightly hunched, carrying a tablet with a glowing triangle and circle symbol. A caption below the video reads, Lead Systems Architect, Level 7 Access. The chat goes still. The architect is working with them? Or worse, he created Project Helios? Before anyone can process it, a new notification appears. 0 is typing. And finally, a message appears. That is not the architect. Another message follows instantly. They took his work. A third. And they think he is dead. The room erupts with questions. Where is he? Is he alive? Who took his work? Who is 0? 0 ignores them all. Instead, he uploads another file, smaller, lighter, but more urgent. A single line of text fills the screen. ArcDrive v2 stabilizes the energy loop. Version 1 is dangerous. You must not release it. Nobody speaks. Juniper opens the file and her breath catches. ArcDrive v2 isn't just an upgrade. It's a complete evolution.
cleaner,
Simpler.
safer.
More stable. It removes the risk of overload. It requires fewer rare components. It can be built by anyone with basic electrical knowledge. And, at the bottom of the file, signed an encrypted signature. Arc, the architect. Continuum is stunned. The architect isn't gone. He isn't captured. He isn't dead. He's been working in secret, improving the tech, staying ahead of Helios. But then 0 sends one final message, a warning. Helios is scanning for unauthorized ArcDrive signals. When deployment begins, all version 1 devices will be flagged. And then, V2 must be built before they activate the grid. Before anyone can react, 0 disconnects. Offline.
Gone.
The chat explodes yet again. If Helios activates a detection grid, anyone who built ArcDrive V1 could be flagged, tracked, detained, or worse. There are now 2 countdowns running at once. 48 hours to decide whether to release ArcDrive V2. 72 hours before Helios deploys its self-powered fleet. Time is collapsing. Continuum splits into emergency task forces. Engineering team validates ArcDrive V2 schematics. Cyber team monitors Helios network traffic. Operations team drafts a global release protocol. Deep search team hunts for any trace of the Real architect. But while they scramble, something far more alarming appears on Helios surveillance feeds. A new prototype. Not an SUV. Not a test vehicle. Something bigger. A heavy-duty transport carrier fitted with multiple ArcDrive units. Designed for long-range, high-load operation. Moving silently across a runway at a classified hangar. This isn't just a fleet. It's an infrastructure. Helios isn't preparing for deployment. They're preparing for rollout. And if the rollout succeeds, they will control the future of transportation. Military, civilian, commercial, global. Continuum realizes the truth. If they don't act now, it won't matter what the public decides later. ArcDrive will already belong to someone else. Continuum mobilizes with an intensity none of them expected. For the first time, they aren't just discussing theories or analyzing footage. They are preparing for a technological collision with a force far bigger than they imagined. The engineering team works nonstop, cross-checking ArcDrive V2. At first glance, the blueprints seem unbelievably clean, almost too clean. Simplified circuits, optimized resonance chambers, a much safer energy regulator. But the deeper they dig, the more they find anomalies, hidden patterns in the circuit layer, microresonance channels that adjust dynamically based on load. One engineer whispers, "This is beyond anything we've seen. Whoever built this is playing on another level." Meanwhile, the cyber team tracks Helios network spikes. Activity is rising fast. Data packets moving across secure military-grade channels. Encrypted logs shifting to higher alert levels. Drone activity near the hangars doubling every hour. Then, at 1:13 a.m., they detect something horrifying. Helios is remotely scanning for frequency leaks. Not ArcDrive signals specifically, but anything that resembles a closed-loop energy cycle. Anyone building early prototypes would already be on their radar. Continuum's operations team issues a stark warning across the network. No testing. No activation. No resonance loops. We're being watched, but they're too late. At 1:27 a.m., a red alert appears. Someone, a Continuum member, has powered on an ArcDrive V1 in Texas. The chat explodes in panic. Who activated? Shut it down. Turn it off now. But it's not that simple. A live feed pops up, shaky, frantic. The member's username, Rogue Signal, flashes in the corner. He's in his garage, breathing heavily. Equipment scattered. The ArcDrive module pulsing dangerously under the hood of an old Ford Ranger. I didn't know they'd detect it, he says, voice trembling. I just wanted to test the efficiency curve. Before he can finish, headlights spill across his garage wall. Engines hum. Doors slam. Boots hit the pavement. Rogue Signal whispers into the camera. They're here. The feed cuts to static. Continuum goes silent. Everyone knows Project Helios just made its first move, not to destroy the tech, but to capture anyone who can help perfect it. A new question spreads through the group, heavy with fear. Who gave Helios Rogue Signal's location? A traitor? A bug? A backdoor? Or something worse?
Zero?
The deep search team digs into Zero's metadata again, desperate for answers. Nothing. No signature. No network trace. Just a void, as if Zero appears and disappears inside the network itself. Then Juniper finds something. Buried inside the ArcDrive V2 file, encoded in the schematic layers, hidden behind a series of musical frequencies. A message. It appears letter by letter as they decode it. I'm alive. They think Zero is me. Do not trust the Helios archive. Find the source file.
Arc.
The architect himself.
Alive.
Hiding. Sending warnings through blueprints instead of text. That means one terrifying thing. Zero is not the architect. But if Zero isn't the architect, and Zero isn't Helios, then who or what is he? As Continuum struggles to untangle the mystery, an alarm goes off on the cyber team dashboard. A new Helios transmission intercepted. A short message. Encrypted but partially decoded. Phase 3 cleared. Track and capture all version 1 nodes. Priority targets. Continuum leadership. The members stare in dread. Helios knows who they are. Helios knows where to find them. Helios knows ArcDrive V2 is circulating. Continuum isn't just running out of time. They're being hunted. At that moment, a new window pops up. A live camera feed. Grainy. Monochrome. A dark room. A figure sitting alone at a metal table. A voice, distorted synthetic, speaks. If you want the truth, meet me before sunrise. The screen flickers. Coordinates appear. A remote industrial zone outside Denver. Juniper whispers, "Is that Zero?" Another voice answers, one they all recognize. A veteran engineer known as Flux. He leans into his mic. "No, that's not Zero. That's someone Helios wants us to meet." Someone types the question on everyone's mind. "Is it a trap?" Flux responds, "Of course it's a trap. But it might also be our only chance to find the real architect." Continuum watches as the countdown timers tick lower. 42 hours left to decide the ArcDrive release. 66 hours before Helios deploys its fleet. And now a third clock begins ticking, the one leading to Denver. Time is splintering. Every path leads to danger. Every delay tightens Helios' grip. Every choice could tip the balance. Continuum has to move. But the next step they take will change everything. Narrator. But here's the truth. Revolutions never happen loudly at first. They begin quietly, in backyards, in garages, in small workshops where ordinary people dare to challenge the rules written by giants. And right now, across America, that quiet revolution has already started. DIY innovators, independent engineers, small-town mechanics, tech enthusiasts who refuse to pay for fuel or rely on charging stations. People who decided that if the future won't come fast enough, they'll build it themselves. And if even 10 conversions are working, then how many more are hiding out there? How many prototypes are being tested tonight? How many breakthroughs are happening in silence? Because once an idea escapes into the world, you can't stop it. You can't censor it. You can't put that genie back into the bottle. And these self-powered conversions? They're no longer theory. They're proof. Proof that the future can be upgraded, rewired, reimagined by anyone with courage, curiosity, and the willingness to try. So buckle up. Because the question is no longer, is the self-powered car possible? It's now. Who will build the next one? And what will you do when this technology finally goes mainstream? This is only the beginning. Thanks for watching.
And get ready.
The age of self-powered transportation has officially begun.